Hey Heartlanders! Today I talked to the Queen of Heartland, Heather Conkie. Not only is she an executive producer, she also has written hundreds of the best scripts for the show, and she's also the showrunner. She really does it all. I don't know how she does it, and she does such an amazing job at it as well. So she told me some very exciting news about things that are coming up in Heartland in terms of the cast, storylines, and upcoming seasons. So watch this. Ben, did you ever expect when you did season 1 or 2, it's going to be going on for 16, 17, 18 years?
The only thing, um, I guess in the first edit room experience, I got chills. And I just thought, I don't get chills that often on a show that I'm involved with or running or whatever. And it was just like, oh, okay, we can maybe do a whole season of shows about a girl who's a horse whisperer.
So here's the question that everybody wants an answer to. Is season 16 a go?
We're right in the middle of writing it right now.
Are you
That's
so
why it's kind of hard to schedule this because we're madly writing season 16. So Netflix has really increased the popularity of the show. I mean, I had an article here a minute ago. Apparently, Heartland is the fifth
yes, most
most
streamed show they've ever had.
and we were just shocked.
Have you considered bringing back fan favorite Mrs. Bell for season 16?
We have considered that a lot. We miss Mrs. Bell. Oh, she's
Yeah.
lovely. She's lovely. You know, it's interesting. COVID had a lot of repercussions for us.
Yeah.
And one of them was bringing in a lot of people from outside. It changed the manner in which we thought of characters for scripts. It had repercussions in everything from casting to shooting to editing. We've done 234 hours plus a movie. And in each of those episodes, there's three storylines, an A, a B, a C, and there's runners. So if you do the math, it's pretty daunting. There's a lot of stories been told. But again, it all comes back to the cast and the setting, because I think it's real life. So things happen all the time as people age, as people marry and have children. You know, there's stories, endless stories you can draw upon. And a lot of the stories come from the own experiences. Yeah, you know way more information about your fellow writers than you really need to or want to. but that's what makes it tick.
And it really is a family show, but do you feel like the demographics of the show has changed? Do you feel like it's changed?
Like we were very fortunate to have the series of books because it gave us a bit of a ready-made audience.
Yes.
And the stories, but it was set in a different place. It always comes back to the cast. I mean, you have a Sean Johnson and an Amber Marshall to work with.
Yeah.
And they're extraordinary. They live the character. And Sean Johnson, who plays Grandpa Jack, who is the most important grandfather in Canadian history. He's beloved by everybody. He becomes a different persona. Like he is, of all the cast, he becomes Jack.
Wow.
The walk, the voice, the look. He is we tease him because he's becoming Jack, basically. And Amber has become Amy over the years. Yeah. She's moved to Calgary. She has a ranch. She has a menagerie of animals, horses, cows, cats, dogs, geese, chickens. It goes on and on. She's like a Dr. Doolittle.
I spoke to Ada Marino, who was in season 14 and 15. He is such a great character. He's such a great guy. You're so good at casting. I think he's going to be like a star at some point. He's just amazing.
He's amazing, and his comic timing with Michelle Morgan as Lou is incredible. We have so much fun writing him. He's right there, and it's such a wonderful feeling to know that they're going to take that character and go even further than you ever imagined.
Well, he said just being on Heartland for 1 year, it changed his life. You were talking about Amber and Sean, how Heartland has changed their lives. And he's actually become a real animal lover. He wants to move to Alberta. He has a lot of ideas for really, I don't know if he's told you, great storylines, actually.
Oh, he's funny.
I thought his ideas were great. I mean,
I'll have to watch your interview.
Yeah,
He's probably too frightened to tell me. We're surrounded by amazing cinematographers, really great directors who come in as guests and are just so, I think they get into the Heartland mood the minute they hit that set. It's such a relaxing set.
Yes.
Um, you know, a lot of sets are frantic. I've been on shows where it's loud. And this kind of show, you can't have a loud crew because there's animals and there's
Yeah.
children. And you're not going to have actor horses around a crew that's, you know, yelling at each other. So by nature, it's a very good, quiet, lovely, zen place to work. So I think
That's
that
awesome.
also shows in the actual episodes. Like everybody plays a part. It's such a group effort from the producers to the greens people. I mean, it's amazing. From everybody, especially the people who come in as day players, actors that are only maybe in that one episode or two episodes, and they just say, "Can I come back?" That would
Oh
be
my
nice.
gosh. Everybody wants to come back. They're like, I'm like Mrs. Bell I was talking about, Anna. She would be thrilled, she said, if you guys wrote her into season 16. It'd be like her dream.
Maybe that's a goal, but you know, it is that kind of a show that you can actually relax and it's a kinder, gentler place. I mean, everyone in this day and age right now, everyone
Yes.
is dying for a kinder, gentler year to exist in, a place that you can look at and love and appreciate nature. And, you know, it's like therapy, I
Yes,
think,
it is.
for sure.
Now, were you instrumental in writing Hudson at all? The spinoff in like 2019?
No, I wasn't. We were too busy with actually
Yeah.
producing the show, Heartland. But no, I didn't have. I watched cuts, and I gave advice where when asked. But largely, I kept that separate. I just thought, you know, we have enough to do here, getting
Why
this.
did they decide to try a spinoff at that time?
I think CBC was into that for a while. They really thought, you know, a web series would be terrific to accompany the show.
Okay.
And just to see a little more of the characters you don't get to see as often on the actual show.
You mentioned Jade. Now she's pregnant right now.
I know.
What will you do in the beginning of the season 16 like in terms of her character? Will she just be like you have to
She's away. She's away. Her dates, her due dates were just so, how dare she? I mean, really. But you know, I'm kidding. But I'm not sure she'll even be able to be in this
Oh,
in the season.
because right, she's going to be recovering.
So she's Parker's sister. So Parker talks about her a lot, and she's of course everybody's Tim's colleague and
Yes.
Caleb's friend, and so we all talk about her.
Is
But
that
we,
hard for the writers? Like I know being a writer myself, it's hard like with Graham Wardle leaving Ty, he was such a main character and he made so many great storylines around him. Is that why he's still sort of included? Did you guys miss him as well?
oh yeah, and that season that we did, season 14, was so cathartic for everyone because everyone was grieving. So we all went through, I mean, the season, if you look at it, if
Yes.
you analyze it at all, it's the stages of grief. Rather than just put it to rest and not talk about it, we thought, let's let's do it. Let's show what that kind of loss does to a family.
Yes.
And in the process, you know, I don't think there was one episode I didn't weep through. It just about, it was it was hard. It's still hard.
And it sounds
I
like season 15, there's going to be a little bit of Ty, but it's going to be more of a happier season
Yeah, and there
and
are there's people
funnier.
included, but it's Amy's period of growth. We had so many real life models for how to do it that uh, and Amber was really wanting to do it in the absolute most positive way and be a bit of a role model for someone who has lost a mate, a partner. And I think again, season 15 is her striking out on her own. It's her really looking to the future as opposed to looking back at the past.
But
Thank you for your support because it is hard on the writers because it's after the fact
yeah,
and no one knows the real circumstances. And
that's right.
we did our best. Let's put it
Well,
that way.
so you were saying about Hudson, are they going to be maybe trying another web series to sort of accompany Heartland again?
I
Or
haven't
no?
heard anything about that, but you know, anything's possible. I want personally. I mean, we did the one Christmas movie after season 3,
Yep.
I would love, to do another Christmas movie. There's Lindy now, seeing Christmas through a child's eyes, and
Oh, that, yeah. What a
the
great
twins.
little actress too.
The twins are amazing. The twins are just adorable and sweet and good natured, and lovely to have on set. And they love to be on set, so it shows again on camera
It's
how
a
much
win-win.
actors like Sean will always come into my office before we start to shoot with the script, with all of his notes, and he adds Jackisms, he calls them,
Oh,
to
really?
what he says. Yeah, see, he
You
says,
mean he
well,
comes up with those quotes, those little quotes that he has, and I actually made a video about those. He comes up
yeah,
with those?
not all of them. He will take
Wow.
credit for all of them.
Right.
Not all of them. He is just no. He knows Jack inside out. So he will say, "Well, I'm not sure Jack would say it that way. How about?" And it's always amazing. So I write it down and we change it for him.
Now, we talked about the possibility that you could be bringing Mrs. Bell back. What about Mallory, another fan favorite?
Um, and we miss her too. We miss her desperately. There's a chance that she might show up in season 16. If there's
Oh,
a,
wow.
so we're hoping. We have our fingers crossed because she's so lovely.
Now, you said with Mallory, did you guys, why did she leave? Was that because of a decision by CBC that they want a
No,
younger character to come in?
that was her choice
Oh,
again.
search. Oh, okay.
A lot of people, they. I'm very grateful to the actors who have stayed, and
Yes.
I'm amazed at our percentage that have, because a lot of people don't want to get typecast into a role, and when it
Oh,
starts
I
to
see.
run that
Okay.
many years, they figure that they're never going to be seen as anything else. And Mallory, the actress, was just amazingly talented. When she made that decision, it was a hard one for her, but she thought at that she needed to go to LA and find out how she could do there. And now, we have to find ways to get her back.
Well, speaking of crying, do you have a favorite episode then? Is it one of the sad ones?
Of course, it's a sad one. My favorite episode, I think. Oh, there's a lot. But I think if I had to pick my favorite, it's the one where Jack is forced to put down his
Oh,
horse. I wept so much writing that, but we had just lost a cat. I think that show resonated with anyone who'd had a pet of any kind,
yes.
and coming to that conclusion that it was getting time.
Yes.
So that was a favorite. I wrote some things down. I loved season 5 with all the Liberty work that
Yes.
Amy does, and because of that, I loved episode 1 of season 15, and I loved the Christmas movie, especially when Lou put the pitchfork through that
Oh,
horrible
that was the
frosty.
best.
I
Yeah.
had a neighbor that I couldn't avoid looking at this horrible frosty through my kitchen window. And I really, really told my husband one night, I'm going to put a pitchfork through that thing because it also played terrible music.
That's
I
awesome.
wasn't able to actually do that to the neighbor's frosty, but I let Morgan do it as Lou on the show.
Do they still put up the Frosty, your neighbor?
No, they moved away,
Okay.
and now it's very tasteful. I hope they don't watch this. But yeah, no, that's where some ideas come from for sure. And yeah, Candles in the Wind was the last episode of season 5, where Amy performs on Spartan and the horse that
Yeah.
Renard gave her. I love that show. But
The
there's a
Queen
lot.
of Heartland. I don't know. Do you guys do this on purpose? You have the horse is like a character in the show. So someone will be talking, and then they'll look at the horse, and the horse actually seems to react to the conversation.
I know.
Is that meaningful, or that just happens?
It just happens. It's uncanny though when it
It is
does.
uncanny. Like the one time that season, I mean, I'm sorry, the episode where Mallory's going to get the half of a horse. Like Lou says, you
Yeah.
can have the back half. And
Yeah.
the horse is like looking at Mallory, like, what are you doing?
What?
I don't. It's
No,
like it was done on purpose.
no, and the Wranglers, who are incredible, um, they tease the writers mercilessly about how we make them personified, like we absolutely make the horses human, as if they
Yeah,
have feelings.
but
And we
that
say,
it's so
and
great for
then
the viewer, though. You know.
every once in a while, I mean, there's an episode in season 15 that introduces a wildie from the herd, the wild herd, that Amy gentles for Jessica,
Kim's wife.
his wife now. Yes, and that horse. Absolutely. And it is green. It's a green horse. It's not wild, but it was never gentled before we had it on the show. So it's a green horse. And he looks right at people when they're talking to him. And he's got the most beautiful eyes and face and everything. He's my favorite horse right now. And it's like he's listening to the dialogue. So, and there's also a horse in season 15, I'll give you a hint, that Jack brings home, and it's completely wild and annoying. Wild. It's really a nasty horse, and it gives him the stink eye all the time. It's just like he turns his head and looks at him out of the corner of his eye, and I didn't even notice it until I was in the edit room, and I thought that horse is playing the part of a nasty.
How does that happen? I notice it in Heartland all the time. I'm like, this is amazing. Well, I really appreciate your time.
It was a really fun conversation. Really good. And thank you for all your work in keeping Heartland strong. I think that's terrific.
Thanks for watching. And don't forget, please like and subscribe for more great videos all about Heartland. Keep Heartland strong. Bye for now.